Lifeless bodies are scattered over the roof of a tower, as they are being eaten away at by the local crows and vultures, to the point that the skeleton starts coming out of the skin. It is the Omega Tower at 4:30 a.m. at night. The scene changes and we can see another tower that is being pulled by a group of scary-looking men. The man up front yells at everyone behind him, telling them to pull with conviction. He tells them to pull it with all their might, because if they don't, he will leave them alone in this stranded area. An orange-haired man was watching all this, and he was quite amused by what he was seeing, so he tells the person besides him, who he refers to as Mina, to also check out what is going on. But the Mina person is not quite interested in it. Mina looked like they were stuck in their own world, so this makes the orange-haired guy ask just what is it that he is thinking about, to which Mina says that he was just suddenly reminded of the time when he first came to this place. It was quite a haunting memory, hence why he is lost in his own world. He then begins to recount the early memories of him in this hellish island. It was a year ago when Mina was in the courtroom, ready to be judged for his crimes. Mina is told by the judge that he has been found guilty for taking lives of several innocent people, and the judge orders him to come forward to the table of judgment. 2 police officers escort him to there, where the judge explains the reasoning behind the ruling. The explanation is a lot of things rolled into one, and after the judge is done explaining the deal, he sentences Mina to decoration at the dreaded Island 58. Despite being normal for most of the hearing, Mina loses it when he hears that he has been sentenced to work at Island 58. He is so in disbelief that he starts screaming in protest, exclaiming that he did not do any crimes at all, and that he does not want to go to that place. However, all of that is for naught. Meanwhile, a man in a room with an American flag, supposedly influential, is on the phone with someone else. He has a picture of Mina's identity card on his hands, as he tells the man on the phone that he will be taking care of everything. He tells the guy on the phone that he is working on that thing that they were on about, and that he has it done so they don't need to talk about this behind the scenes anymore. He seems to be reassuring the guy, when one of his assistants walks in and tells him that the CEO of GLN is there to meet him. The guy tells his assistant to prepare for the meeting, while telling the person who he was on the phone with, and whom he called Senator, that an incredible person has come to meet him and that he must go there. The senator says something on the phone which surprises the guy, so he tells the senator that he will be setting up a common meeting with both partners. After hanging up on the call, the man says that the old tiger has crawled his way back up again, as he smirks. Afterwards, some context is provided as to why Island 58 is so feared. Island 58 is a place that is most common for being the place where the worst and most hardened criminals are sent to. It operates as both being exiled from normal society but also being sent to work. It is a place where there is no rules and regulations, a place with no law, where power is the only meta. Power is what structures the place and power is what governs it. In short words, it is a lawless wasteland, which is why it is called the Hell 58 among a lot of people, as it is the personification of hell for many. Next up, a lady is seen chasing after something, and we are given the information that in this island, there are several types of people. For example, that lady who is a mother looking to take revenge for her daughter, and she is often referred to as Mama. Then, a man who was seen working at the decoration area of the island. He was doing a lot of hard work and he has a very strong and muscular body. That guy is called Arthur Joe and he wants to escape the island at all costs. After that, a man who seems to have his own set of followers, a man who dreams of recapturing his past glory, and once again reign as the king of his region, his name being Khan. A man who is seen to be every extreme in how he acts and behave is also shown, as he was beating up another guy on the island, leaving him bloodied. He is Ed Argain, and he wants to be the owner of the Island 58, being the perpetrator of more madness. And finally, the people who want to get out of this hellish place, the people who are often caught up in the cruel end of many things happening here, the people who want to survive this hell and make it out. People like Mina can be included in this category, as he is not someone who is seen doing anything like other residents of this hellish place, but despite that, he is here. All of these different kinds of people live on Hell 58, all with different goals and intentions. Their stories, which are intertwined with one another, is a tale that needs to be told. And that is where the story of hardships and cruelty in midst of the place called Hell is beginning. The scene changes, and suddenly, a man is seen being chased around by a couple of guys in the forest of Island 58. The guy is good at dodging, as he manages to dodge 3 kunai blades that were thrown at him and moves forward at a rather quick pace. On the other hand, somewhere else in the forest, a woman is also being chased by an unseen person, and the woman is panicking. As she runs at full speed, she fails to notice a stone in her path, which makes her stumble on it and fall down. Upon coming face to face with the person who was chasing her, she screams out loudly. The scream echoes in the entire forest, as the man who was being chased down changes his mind and stops in his path. He then hurls himself at the people who were chasing him and brings out his blade to attack. He misses the first guy who was chasing him, but the blade manages to slash the neck of the second guy, splashing out a lot of blood. However, he has another blade in his hand which he quickly brings out to slash through the first guy, but before he could do so, he is kicked by a third person. The third guy has a peculiar hairstyle and has tattoos on him. The guy asks just how many people were taken out by the blade wielder, before saying that Ed has to pay for all of this. The guy is called Rodario. He is a blue label rank A guy, who was one of the executives for one of the 3 largest crime organizations, Ichidoki. Meanwhile, back to the woman earlier, she has now been further immobilized thanks to a kunai which had been stabbed around her Achilles. The person to do it is none other than the crazy one, Ed Argain, and he tells her that she won't be able to run any further. Despite being in trouble, the woman is rather sturdy, as she tells Ed Argain that they are in mommy's territory. Ed Argain doesn't care about this though, and he makes that clear to her. However, the lady is quite sure that he would have to pay for his misdeeds. Ed Argain grins as he gets closer to the lady, almost embracing her in a hug, before telling her that she has no idea who she is talking to. He introduces himself, Ed Argain, S-ranked member of the Black Label, a former lieutenant of the I-Force. This makes the lady realize her mistake, which makes her apologize and beg for mercy while crying. However, Ed Argain is having too much fun and orders his underlings to hang her on a tree. As his underlings do so, he starts sharpening his knife to put on a proper show. After both of them are ready, he asks her if she is ready to have some fun, before he starts to write on her midriff with the knife, cutting her up as he draws various symbols and writes cryptic messages. After he is done doing that, he asks one of his lackeys if he did a good job drawing the symbols, to which his lackey says that it looks good to him. This satisfies the guy, as he tells his underlings that they will go and pay a visit to the dung flies. Meanwhile, at the east of the Hell 58 at the Deep Forest, or to be more specific, the Aboa Temple, Khan is seen eating meat. Khan says that there is no point in raising a daughter, as they are useless. He has a hard time biting off the meat. We get some information about Khan. He is an S-rank member of the Blue Label, but that is pretty much it about him. As he is eating, another man comes in, and this pleases Khan as he tells the guy, Mui, to sit down and eat with him as he was tired of eating alone. Mui is an A-rank member of the Blue Label, and like Khan, not much is known about him besides that. Mui tells Khan that he doesn't want to eat, and informs him about the crows wanting to hold a meeting with him. Khan hears this, and asks Mui what was the necessity of coming all the way there to tell that. Just then, another guy of their team runs into the Aboa Temple, informing Khan of a big news. The guy tells Khan and Mui about some people invading their area and taking the lives of some of their people. He suspects that Ed Argain has something to do with all of this. Khan and Mui go and visit the area where this took place, and they get to see the fallen body of their comrade. Khan is super pissed off about this, and tells Mui to go and pay a visit to the crows, and ask them about the whereabouts of Ed Argain. On the other hand, Ed Argain and his large force could be seen making their way through the forest as they try to take out more of their targets. As they are doing so, Ed notices something strange going around the area, and looks at that place. An old man walks out of the place, donning an all-white look. Ed laughs out seeing the old man, telling him that he has grown even older now. The old man says that he had hoped for some peaceful days for this area, but seeing Ed, he wonders if he had come there to continue his cruelty tour. Ed finds all of this quite frustrating. Meanwhile, this pisses off one of Ed's comrades. He asks the old man if he is crazy, before stepping up to him and telling him to back off, as he could wipe out all of the old man's people by himself. Before he can do something, the guy gets knocked out on his feet from a quick blow from the old man, which was followed by a kick which sent the guy flying back. This shocks everyone, as the old guy says that those people are only dogs for Ed, which is why they are speaking up. He further asks in an intimidating tone if Ed wanted to say something to him. We get some background on the old guy. He is Tsar of the Horde, or Ivan V. Tsar, the former commander of the private military company. Ed is a bit intimidated by this, so he goes forward and starts stomping the heck out of the guy who got beaten up by the Tsar, telling him that he is weak and disrespectful for talking to the old man in the manner that he did. Ed then tells the old man that he has punished the guy for his insolence, so that much should be enough. However, the old man taunts Ed, telling him that he cannot beat him in a fight no matter how old he gets. Ed tells the old man to rest easy for later, as their paths will cross each other at some point in the future. He then orders his troops to retreat alongside him. Seeing this, the Tsar of the Horde also makes his way back into the shadows of the forest. Meanwhile, an aircraft was being flown over the sea, and the aircraft held the most brutal criminals there were. Mina was there too, and he was left wondering just what he had done to be included in this squad. The flight crew informs the main office that they are very close to Omega Tower, which is known as the Trash Tower as well. They say that the landing is a mere minute away. The hell is getting closer, as Mina and the other people in the flight wait for what awaits them. In a cryptic dream sequence, a girl is seen in the embrace of her mother, while she asks her mother if she really loves her. The mother obviously replies that she does love her kid, and asks her if she thinks that her mother doesn't love her. Just then, the kid vanishes out of her mother's grasp and appears in a different place. From there, the little girl tells her mother that an uncle told her that her mother doesn't love her, which is why her mother pretended to not notice when she was passing away. The uncle who she was referring to in this case was Ed Argain, who had his mad grin on. Her mother tried her best to tell her that it wasn't true, and that Ed lied, but Ed asks her if it really was a lie. The girl then tells her mother that she now knows for sure that she doesn't love her, and says that she will go to her father, as she walks off into nothingness. Her mother cries in agony, before suddenly waking up from her nightmare with a scream. The lady is Mommy, as was mentioned before, and her followers quickly come to the room to check up on her, asking if everything was fine. Mommy tells her that she was okay, and not to take her antics seriously, before asking her if there was any problem. The lady tells Mommy that there was indeed some problem, as they had gathered information from the deep forest that Ed Argain had made a move forward. This angers Mommy, as she had recently woken up from a traumatic dream involving Ed, as she gets up from her bed, looking more determined than ever. On the other hand, the aircraft has landed on the Omega Tower, as the police who are in charge of this disposal of criminals tells the criminals to get off one by one. However, they must stand behind the yellow line. After which, all the criminals get off one by one, and their evil aura surrounds the area. A tattooed criminal in particular is quite stoked to get outside, as he says that the air is better, and says that the ventilation system inside the aircraft sucks. One of the officers tells him to shut up, as he was checking on his tablet. He sees something there which totally bamboozles the guy, and so he is in a shocked state for a bit until the other officer calls out his name, Jack, and asks him if he has a treasure hidden somewhere in the tower which is keeping him so employed with thoughts. Jack says it was nothing and that he was just enjoying the view around the place, stating the place was really beautiful, to which the other guy ends up agreeing with. They go on about how this place, despite being dubbed hell, might just be heaven but in hell's disguise. After some light-hearted conversation, they make sure that everyone has arrived and tells them all to line up properly behind the yellow line. All of the criminals line up. The tattooed one talks about how the air is really nice there again, and this annoys the guy besides him, who tells him to keep his mumbling to himself. A mini altercation was about to commence, but Jack makes sure to threaten them both into stopping for that moment. After that, Jack welcomes them all to Hell 58, stating that it is the new home for people like them. He talks about how it will be interesting to see excuses for human beings such as them live their lives in this place. He wonders who the worst one among them all is, while his implies that it is Mina with his body movement. After that, Jack tells them about some options they have in this place, albeit there aren't many, just two, that is to live or not to live. If they choose not to live, they'll be once again left with two choices. Option 1 is to never get off this tower and starve themselves into non-existence, just like the people he points to have done so. He says that while the option is there, they need to understand that it requires them to suffer for 2 to 3 weeks, and if one of them passes before the others, they will just continue to live off of him for longer. The second option is very easy. It is to just jump off the tower and take your own life. He says that if someone wishes to not be eaten by their own kind and want to end the suffering quickly, they should pick this option. That is it for the people who don't want to live, but for the people who want to live, there is only a small window of opportunity. He points to a door on the tower's floor with D written on it. Jack says that when they leave the place, this door will be open once, and for the people who want to live can just jump down from that door. The gravity system there allows them to, unfortunately, not pass away upon falling, and they can continue to live on. Or so they thought, as hell awaits them on the other side. So in actuality, it is not really about whether they want to live or to pass away. It is more about when and how they want to give up their lives. Following that, he states that he is done with the explanation and that they will be leaving soon. He tells the criminals to enjoy their stay and think wisely before choosing what to do. As he is leaving, Jack gives them a tip on how to survive. He points at Mina, who he refers to as the pretty-looking boy. He says that he is a FF rank guy and that this island, it falls under the jurisdiction of Arthur Joe. He says that they must have a vague idea of why Arthur Joe was sent to this place, and adds that the FF rank guy would be a great present for Arthur Joe. This makes everyone's attention turn to Mina, who is left scared. Mina's actual name is Seo Min. He is ranked FF of the yellow level. He is a former administrative officer of the Kingdom of Angels and a candidate of security police of the Terra Foundation. After this, the guy beside Seo Min starts teasing him. He asks him if he really is a double F, before starting to act like a 10-year-old girl to start teasing Seo Min, implying him to be a PDF file. However, the guy gets punched hard in the face by a huge dude, and it sends him flying back. The guy then picks up Seo Min by the collar and tries to investigate if he really is a FF rank, and he quickly finds the proof of it, as he has his rank imprinted on his hand. The guy throws off Seo Min. Seo Min says that he has no idea why he has that rank, but the big guy says that it doesn't matter because he has it imprinted on his hand. He also tells Seo Min to stay with him. Meanwhile, the police officers, who have already taken off in their aircraft, talk about stuff. The other officer asks Jack, who he thinks will survive the longest from that batch, but Jack doesn't want to answer. But that doesn't stop his partner from insisting on getting an answer though. Back to the big guy, he is named Vidar, an A-ranked person from the red level. He is a former Terra Federation army who got a dishonorable discharge. He claims Seo Min and asks anyone if they have any objections. A few people step up, saying they have an objection to this, as Vidar can't just be going around and claiming because the strongest one should get Seo Min. On the flight, Jack talks about the tattooed guy, saying he is a former member of the Black Snake, and going up against him is a poor decision for anyone. At the tower, the tattooed guy is annoyed by this fight going on for Seo Min, as he walks up to the white-haired guy and asks him what is up with him. The tattooed guy is named Kleiper, red level's S-ranked guy, member of one of the world's top 3 crime syndicate, Black Snake. However, at the aircraft, Jack adds that the white-haired guy is even more scary, as he has no information on him, other than the fact that he is red level's X-ranked guy. The other officer finds this ridiculous, as only 4 people have the X rank in the entire Hell 58 island. On the tower, Kleiper tries to intimidate the white-haired guy, but the white-haired guy doesn't even flinch and stares him right in the eye with no fear whatsoever, with mystery shrouding around his identity, which no one has a clue about. After that, the officers on the plane inform the main office that they are done disposing the trash at the tower and that they are on their way back. As this is going on, Jack is still wondering what there is to this guy who has the X rank, because only a few people have the distinction of being that. The people who have that rank include the serpent god Genzo, who is known to be one of the 4 biggest peacemakers in the world when it comes to managing conflicts between organizations and countries. Even though they might come off as conciliators, which is a good thing, but they are just contracted assassins in disguise. Genzo in particular raided one of the biggest crime syndicates in the world, Row Pony, turning their headquarters into something resembling a wasteland. He solved all the mystery around the syndicate and revealed all their motives and plans before they could put it into action. Genzo was recognized as the best assassin in the world after all. Meanwhile, Kleiper once again tries his best to mess with the mystery man, but to no avail. One of the other X-ranked person in the island is Ivan Vizar, known to be the commander of the PMC. He was known as the epitome of horror to his opponents. He was known as Tsar of the Horde as well. His presence is considered omnipotent by his peers, someone with unmatched aura, who managed to turn the rebel PMC into a feared group, despite being blind and rather old. He also managed to take out the Terra forces. And finally, there is Arthur Joe, the former captain of Terra Force's special army called the Black Forces. He, for his own personal reasons, barged into the office of the Terra forces, and took the lives of 15 senates on his own. And the Terra Force office by many was considered to be the safest place one could be on this earth, and Arthur Joe managed to cause ruckus there. Besides that, after coming to Hell 58, Arthur Joe managed to start a war among the people, and through that he has taken the lives of countless amounts of people. He has taken the lives of so many people that it is said that he can form a tower by stacking them up. His clothes have been stained by the blood of humans to the point that no laundry service can clean it of the stench anymore. Which is why there is a saying that if you land in the Hell 58, you are about to fall prey to Arthur Joe. However, what confuses the officers is that being X-ranked means that the mystery guy is on the same level as them, which is honestly stunning. Jack then adds that messing with that guy would mean certain end for anyone regardless of their ranks. At the Omega Tower, Kilper once again pokes at the mystery man, telling him to pay attention to him instead of ignoring, but before he could complete what he wanted to say, the mystery man hits him so hard that his neck gets twisted 180 degrees to his back, effectively finishing him off for good. This causes a moment of silence among everyone, as no one knows how to react to what just happened in front of them. No matter how good the S-rank people they are, they can fly high or crawl down deep, but if they run into the mystery man, it's game over. Even then, no one can probably survive what's there on the island. Shortly after, the gate with D written on it lowers down, opening up the gate to the actual Hell 58, and this puts everyone on notice. However, without any hesitation, the mystery man just jumps into the entrance, going down to the place called Hell. This once again shocks everyone as they can't believe the kind of monster they have to deal with if they go down to the island of Hell. Vidar is the one to break silence as he talks about how the mystery man is a brutal son of a gun. However, this just means that there is one less guy vying to get a hold of Seo Min, and just then, Jesse, the guy who he had beaten up previously, tries to attack him. Vidar somehow manages to dodge the attack and hit the guy with a knee to the gut, and after getting a hold of his head, he smashes it into the floor. Vidar calls him an insolent, but before he can do anything more, the guy who he got into an argument with before hits him and knocks him down. After that, the guy starts talking to Seo Min, asking him to join his side, claiming to be his big brother, and saying that he will be the one who will guide him correctly. However, he gets smashed away by the fat guy. The fat guy says that Seo Min is his, but another guy says that Seo Min would hate being with someone like him, and an all-out fight ensues. Everyone starts going at it. We see uppercuts to the chin, punches to the solar plexus, bites to the neck, and even headbutts being thrown out like it's nothing, as everyone starts fighting over Seo Min, trying to make him their property. Seo Min watches this in awe, as he is scared, and wonders just why is it that he has to be theirs, why can't he control himself? After this, Seo Min tries to escape the scene, but a rejuvenated Vidar notices this and points it out to everyone. Meanwhile, the fight has become more clearer now, because the strong ones have taken over. The power of the fat guy is just too much to handle, and the fast kicks and overall skills of the pink-haired guy has made this into a fight between the two of them, as they seem to have the best chance of beating out everyone else. Just then, the guys notice that Seo Min is making a beeline for the entrance to the Hell 58. Everyone wants him, so they all stop fighting and go after him, as stopping him is their first priority. Seo Min is quite quick, but the rest of the group almost catch up to him, as he is left with two choices, either jump into hell or get caught by those demons. Meanwhile, in the forest of the island, groups of people from all clans are out for various reasons, some to hunt, while others, like Khan's people and Mommy's people, are out to track down the dreaded Ed Argain. Ed Argain himself is aware of that, as he waits deep in the forests, saying that they are quite alert of him now, but deeming them all to be nothing but pests to someone like him.